Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Move Podcast, episode 15. Evan Umstead here. Another solo episode, it's just me on this one. Good news though, we should have the guys back. Unfortunately, neither one coming back with the natty, but terrific years. Jaden, ACC champion, Ian Jones, Sweet 16 run for Michigan State was a fantastic run. I was able to be at both games in Columbus against USC and Michigan State. Really a fantastic run for both of those guys. They left an impact on those universities that they were at. Really proud of them, man. Love those guys, man. Really, really love those guys. Feels good to be back on the pod. Been doing some traveling. Been doing a lot of watching ball, like you guys have. You guys have seen on the post on whether it's my social media, We Move podcast page. Much love and respect to everyone. Hope you guys checked out the last episode with Paul. That was pretty awesome. Paul Gervais, shout out to him for coming on. That was cool. We'll have to have him back on. I apologize for the audio, the Wi-Fi, spring training, he's locked in. Good luck to him, though. He's going to be up in New York, starting off, I believe, in Brooklyn. I could tell you guys in about 5 seconds. I could tell you exactly where he's going to be starting off at. So he wanted to start off in New York, and he will be starting off. He was in Brooklyn with the Brooklyn Cyclones, so getting closer to the big leagues, one step closer, brother. PG, keep going. So I won't be long. Just have a couple topics to talk to you guys about. Obviously, we had the bracket challenge. Big shout out to Brian Umstead, my father, 704 for winning the bracket challenge. Really excited to have him on the podcast. That's my dad. We'll get more into it when he's on, but I really look up to him. He's been a great father. He's been a great coach. He's been a great role model, not only to myself, but to my sister, to all of our friends. He coached for a while in his hometown in Durham with the Durham Angels. That was our church back home in Durham's church league basketball team, but it was a basketball program, mentorship program. And a lot of success came out of that program. We'll let him talk about that more. But I love my dad. He won. He had the. It was a rough it was a rough bracket challenge for all of us. I think he finished with like 600 points, 560, and I think what really got him through though is that he ended up picking. What did he end up picking, nigga? Oh, he had Texas to the Elite Eight, and they got there. And then he had UConn. Did he have UConn to the Final Four? No, he didn't have UConn to the Final Four. But yeah, so he had Texas. So that my dad getting Texas right to the Elite Eight. That's what got him to win. I'm excited to have him on. Shout out to everyone else. Emily Goy finishing second. Matt White coming in third. J.K. Todd right there with third. Chalk Talk, Ian finishing up right there at I guess the 5 spot. Paul coming in after that. Vanna, shout out to Vanna. She comes in after Paul. Then we have Montana State. Let's Rod. I'm not exactly sure who that one is. Then we had a UVA pick. Myself coming up. My cousin Aaron Shakee, Ben Brandon, following up me. Benny Drawbones, and then my guy Matt Stevens, man. Matt ended up coming up in last. That Kansas pick didn't do him too great, but oh man, it was a fun tournament, man. A really, really fun tournament. Congratulations to Tristan Newton, myself, Jaden, and Ian's, former teammate at ECU on getting the natty with the UConn Huskies, their 5th natty since 1999. That's humongous. Definitely in blue blood. Definitely congratulations to him. Congratulations to Tristan, the way he played in the tournament. Point guard, really controlled the pace. You can see his progression throughout this time when he was at ECU, kind of going to UConn. I think Coach Hurley, much shout out to him for building that program back up. They've been up and down, up and down, up and down. Hopefully they can stay up on that right trajectory. Excited to see what Tristan does next. So congratulations to them. We just have to talk about some of the bright spots in the tournament. FAU, wow, much respect to them. Dusty, the head coach was a former manager at IU. We have a soft spot for managers here at the podcast. So shout out to FAU, a terrific run. I thought they were going to get to the Natty. Didn't end up happening. That second half got kind of wonky. Huge shot made by San Diego State. Like Lamont Butler, that kid, he stepped up and he made a legendary shot. You know, the one shining moment. They got to the national championship, and then UConn was just terrific. Sonogo, Andre Jackson, Joey, the shooters, 11. I'm blanking on the kid's name, and I don't want to say it wrong. You know, just of course, like Hawkins or Jordan, 24. I think it's Jordan Hawkins. I'm blanking. It's late, so Jordan. Let me not get that kid's name wrong. 24. Got to get him right. Um, yeah, Jordan Hawkins. Really good run for the Huskies. In a year where there was so much parity, a team that was dominant in non-conference, the Big East. Shout out to the Big East; they were a really tough conference this year. Struggled a little bit in the Big East, still ended up finishing pretty high, but them really making that run, they were the best team, dominant run. There was no stress, won every game by double digits. So, congrats to UConn, congrats to the Huskies. I remember y'all in the American, and weren't too hot. You had some good players. Jalen Adams was really good. Christian Vital, Altery Gilbert. Those guys were really good. Tyler Polley, good players. Just never put together a great team, and now they're back on top. Donovan Klingman and all those guys. They stepped up and they performed. Man, I hate if I'm missing on some names, but congrats to the UConn Huskies. Congrats on all those teams that made it to the Final Four. It was a really good run. Um, the Elite Eight was fun. Marquise Noel, Kansas State. What a run by him. Really terrific. I think that was one of the best tournament performances I've seen in a while. Them and Michigan State played a fantastic, probably the best game in the tournament in my opinion. Shout out to Ricky Council the fourth. Going to the NBA, Arkansas leading them pretty far. Sweet 16, they just ran to the buzzsaw. They ran to the national champs. So, but it was a good run for them as well. Wow, yeah. Shout out, man. I am watching the Lakers just got pummeled again for the 11th time in a row by the Los Angeles Clippers. So we'll talk a little NBA. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but we'll talk it a little bit. Shout out to Miami. What a run by the Hurricanes. Isaiah Wong, Jordan, Miller, just all those guys fought really, really hard. Nigel Pack. It's a really hard fought, team, the dog team. Jim Larinaga, what he's done there, was fantastic, and it was just a fantastic tournament all around. The women's tournament was fantastic. Virginia Tech had a good solid run, and then they just ran into the buzzsaw, the national champs, the LSU, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. What a performance in the tournament. She really did her thing. I thought her and Angel Reese really pushed the women's game forward, man. And if you just watch that Final Four, there was that, shout out to the South Carolina ladies. Thought Dawn Staley could have done a better job, adjusting the guard and Caitlin Clark, sending two at her, about kind of doing what LSU did, kind of force anybody else to beat them, attack her on the offensive end, and make her play defense, kind of tire her out that way. Thought South Carolina just kind of got a little arrogant there, just thought, and Caitlin Clark said, no, I'm the best player on the floor. So, but terrific run to Zia Cook, Aaliyah Boston, those seniors, Bria Bill, really good run for the South Carolina women's team. When it came down to, the John Cena or Tony Yayo, when it came down to the I can't see you, it's just people being competitive. That's sports, people. So let's get over that. Let's let those girls compete. Caitlin Clark didn't have a problem with it. Angel Reese, you the winner goes the spoils. He who laughs laughs best, as they say. So it was a really great tournament. I was really impressed by the shot making of really all four of those teams. I mean, Virginia Tech, they beat the Ohio State team in the Elite Eight, and they had elite shot making. I mean, Georgia Moore, she is a really good shot maker. Their big girl down low, she was really good. So that Virginia Tech women's team, they made a lot of shots. They deserve to be in the Final Four. LSU, just Jasmine Clayton. How about that? LSU Ice Spice. What a performance she had in the national championship. Way to shoot it. Ladies, thank you guys for great performance. I mean, the women's game, growing the women's game, awesome. Next year, Caitlin Clark, if she's coming back, that'll be fun. UConn still has Azizi Flood and Paige Becker, so that'll be fun as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. Really excited to see where the what next year holds. You know, I'll be tuned into the tournament even more. It's much better. The women's game has grown so much, so much. I remember like, you know, just as close as 4 years ago, it's just straight one seeds, you know, and it's the same ones every year. UConn, Baylor, Tennessee, rotate in, you know, those other schools, Louisville, you know, South Carolina. Just like now, it's the parity was great. It was great to see the upsets. Number one, Indiana got upset. A lot of, you know, I love to see that. You know, that's what, you know, grows the game, is when it's not a monopoly in sports. You know, and there's so many good women's players and their skills growing. Same with the men's game. Just great march. Anybody who says there wasn't blue bloods in it, where you missed a great national championship game, and I know the score differential wasn't great, but those teams went at it, and UConn was just a better team. Honestly, they kind of reminded me of that Chapel Hill team that won in Detroit. They beat Michigan State by 20. You know, it reminded me of that. So, really good tournament. I mean, FAU at San Diego State was a barn burner as well. That was a great game as well. You know, I think that or the Michigan State. Michigan State had some barn burners. That Michigan State Marquette game was really good, and then that Michigan State Kansas State game was one for the books. So definitely thankful for March. One of my favorite times of the year. NBA playoffs coming up. Masters is this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit later of the episode. But just thank you guys. A hand clap to the women's tournament, to the men's tournament. Congratulations to the Huskies. We moved, you know. So yeah, MLB season is here. You guys see I got the Rays shirt on, man. Feeling good right now. 6-0. Have to play the best competition, you know, the Rays and I mean not the Rays, the Tigers and the Nationals. Not the hottest competition, but you know, you win the games. You know, it's hard to win games in baseball. It's such a you know, diverse sport. So many good teams. Anybody can win. You play so many games. Anybody can win on any day. So just finishing those two sweeps is huge. You know, starting off a series with the A's on the 7th Friday. So, you know, hopefully keep that rolling. Got the A's in Boston. So you know, whenever AL East rivalry, you know, the numbers go kind of out of the window. So yeah, it's really exciting times for my Rays. Cleveland started off hot. There, you know, the Yankees have been really good as well. Aaron Judge leadoff home run to start off, you know, his season. So really the Yankees look good. Anthony Volpe's up. That's always exciting when you're a shortstop at the Yankees. You know, the last, you know, big time staple they had there was Jeter, and I mean, he's a legend there. We can talk about Jeter all day on this podcast. So excited to see what he's doing. He's been stealing bases. You know, Bat has to catch up to that MLB pitchers, but it's exciting. You know, interesting to see what Toronto could do. Minnesota started off hot, 3-0. I mean, they played Kansas City, but 4-2. Obviously, they added some pieces. Joey Gallo's mashing again. You know, you got Big Correa, you know, holding it down. They have a good team, man. They picked up some key pieces. I saw Kyle Farmer in the lineup today, former Cincinnati Reds. So they have a good solid squad. You know, the White Sox sitting at 3-3. It's interesting. You know, it's interesting to see what's going on. We'll have Ian on. You know, the Astros, a little bit of a World Series hangover, starting off at 3-4. You know, interesting to see. You know, I'm sure they'll bounce back. It's early, super early. Texas starting off strong. You know, they swept, you know, the Phillies, our guy Jay Kelly, all of our Philly people swept them. You know, the Phillies haven't been off to the hottest start. But I mean, they're still waiting on Bryce Harper to get back. They fought hard with the Yankees this series that they just had. I'm sure they'll go home. I think they play the A's, I want to say. I think it's the A's. Is it the A's? Let's see who Philly has this weekend. The Reds. So I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be all right. The Reds are a scrappy team, but they just have to get their pitching. Their pitching hasn't been great at all, even from their aces. I know Nola kind of, you know, fought hard today, battled hard. I know the Yankees are a tough lineup, but I'm not too worried about the Phillies. The Braves have been the Braves, man. 5-1 out the gate. Already hopping out. The Mets 3-4. So the Braves have been well. Spencer Strider's pitched well. Max Fried, getting banged up a little bit, but opening day, he showed up. The Acuna looks back into form. So Austin Riley's doing his thing. Good to see Ozzy back out there. The Braves are gonna brave, man, and they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there. They're gonna be there for a while. So, Angels, good to see them getting off to a hot start. 4-2 so far. We shall see what they do. They can start off hot and fade at any moment. And then you got the Wild Wild West, man, down there in the NL. First let's talk about let me not skip over, Midwest. Let me not skip over that. The feisty Reds, 3-3. They fought hard. That whole division is really getting after it right now. Pittsburgh surprising for them too. So Milwaukee at 5-1. I mean, they have the firepower there. They have the arms. It's just about them doing it, it's being consistent. So we should see what they can do. It'd be nice to see Christian Yelich get back into form, but they have a really good team outside of him. Dodgers have looked good as always, 4-2 out the gate. Padres sitting at 500. The Diamondbacks are frisky, man. They're a frisky team, man. Those bottom two teams, San Fran, they just have to you never know with them. They have some veterans, Brandon Crawford, Jock Peterson. They'll be around. We'll see how they do. And then Colorado's kind of been Colorado. They 2-4. Don't really have to say much about them. But yeah, the MLB preview is here, man. It's a great time. Baseball's going. Baseball games on every day, man. So that's another thing to keep your eyes on. So tune in when it comes to that, man. Okay. So the playoffs are here or almost here. I think NBA like 2 games left. And we will talk later. I hope to get Ian on the pod one of these days this week, and we'll give you guys another one. But yeah, I just have to. We're not going to talk too much about the playoffs. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that, whether that's Sunday or Monday. Coming up, give you guys a pod, a playoff preview. Obviously, Milwaukee clinched the 1 seed tonight. It looks like Boston's firmly in the 2. Pretty sure that's clinched in the East. Phillies 3. Cleveland, and I know the Cleveland and the Knicks have locked up the 4 and the 5, so they'll be matching up little IJ versus my people out here in Ohio matchup in the first round. Brooklyn's right now in the 6 with 1.5 games up on Miami. And then the play-in basically clinched. Is just like kind of who it's going to be, and Miami sitting in the 7, and Atlanta's 8, Toronto 9, Chicago 10. So that's some interesting matchups, some interesting players. Should be fun. Out west, you have Denver in the 1, Memphis 2, Sacramento the 3, Phoenix the 4, the Clippers are sitting at 5, Golden State 6, LA is at 7 right now, New Orleans 8, Minnesota 9, and then OKC is sitting at 10. Dallas is tied with the same record as OKC. So that's interesting. Utah is about 1.5 games back. But the Dallas last 2 games are the Bulls, who have already clinched the play-in spot, and the Spurs. So I can see them winning those 2. And then Minnesota has the Spurs and the Pelicans. So it's going to be interesting, just kind of see how all of that shapes up. There's a ton of scenarios at play here. Really interested to see how that shakes out. But the main reason I really want to talk about the NBA right now, though, is just Joel Embiid is the MVP. I want to solidify that. I think his odds went up to -700. It's almost as close to a lock as he can get. And I was on the fence. I was all the way at one point. I was all the way yoked for MVP. I was all the way, and then just it started to teeter. And then Embiid dominated him in Philly. They didn't get another matchup head to head. Yoke still had a good game, but Embiid had like 47, 15, and 6, something crazy. And then just other night, Embiid 50 points on 85% shooting. Are you kidding me, people? That is insane. Like I asked, like, say, go out and play your little cousin, your niece, your nephew, your son, your kid, your brother, your girlfriend, whatever that isn't that great of a basketball player, and then just play for however many minutes Embiid played the other night, 40, 42, however many minutes he played, and then just try to score 50 points on them. Or go to your pickup game. It doesn't matter how great an opponent is. Try to score 50 points on 85% shooting. That is freak level. And he can't be stopped. I mean, they put Grant Williams on an island, and he just abused him. He just abused him. And we'll talk about the Celtics in another part. I'm a little nervous about them with not having Ime Udoka and Missoula's ability to, adjust and, adapt, especially in the playoffs, because that's really one of the main things it's all about is managing your team, managing their mental states, and then making those in-game adjustments, those out-of-timeout plays. It's really, really hard to do to score 15 on 85. I mean, the guy is the MVP. I mean, shooting a three, shooting a mid-range. He's has one of the highest offensive efficiency seasons in NBA history, man. Like, this guy is the MVP, man. And Harden is in the same Harden. He's still having a good year. But Embiid is the mainstay. He's carried that team to the 3 seed, and they're a problem. They're a force to be reckoned with. They haven't beat Boston without Brown. They haven't beat Boston at full force all year. Boston is a very tough team. I still think Boston and Milwaukee are the class of the East for sure. But Philly, I mean, they have a fighting chance because neither one of those teams. I mean, Giannis is in Milwaukee, but Embiid is right there, and I think Giannis honestly is overtaking Yoke for the 2 seed. But man, I just have to say, man, like Joel Embiid is the MVP hands down, no questions asked. He's the MVP, man. He is the MVP. Well, NHL too. So NHL is heating up. They do this weird playoff scenario where the top teams in the division, like the top team in the division plays a wild card team. And then they have like 2 divisions. The top teams play a wild card team, and then the 2 and 3 play each other. So it's a little weird, it's a weird system, to say the least. They still go by points, but it's weird. But I'll also talk about that in another pod. Right now Boston is the class of the league, and that's really what I wanted to talk about. 125 points, 60 regulation wins, 60 wins, 5 overtime losses. They're clearing the next team. I think it's the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes have 109 points, so they're clearing them by 16 points. David Pastrnak has like 50-something goals. Let me give you all the exact number. 56 goals, 47 assists. I mean, just freaky season from David Pastrnak. He has 103 points. That's just the next person has 63. Yeah, it's just crazy level ties. Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron have been banged up. The team's guys have been just stepping up and just like showing out. I mean, they're a really good team. Right now they're slated to play Florida, I believe, in the first round. Is it Florida or the Islanders? I think it's Florida. I think that's just how this works. So they play the number 1 wild card team. Hold on, Pod. Let me not give y'all wrong information. Let me look this up. Yeah. And then why isn't this stuff just like, why can't they just have a bracket like on here? Like I have to scroll through all these websites to try to find this. But I would think the top team would get. Here we go. So yeah, they would play the second. That makes sense. So they would play the Islanders, and who would play like boring hockey. They have some talented guys, Matt Barzal, and they just, I don't know, they aren't. They're a good team. They're feisty, but I think Boston would sweep them. And then you got Toronto would play Tampa Bay. which would be, if anybody don't know, the Leafs haven't made it out of the first round in years. And they lost to Tampa Bay. They keep losing to Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay kind of sandbags it almost during the regular season. And then they turn it on and been to 3 straight Stanley Cups, won 2 of the last 3. So lost last year. So that would be who they play in the first round. It looks like it's going to, as of right now, it would be in Toronto. Tampa Bay's been banged up. They haven't been playing their best, but at the end of the day, championship DNA. So we'll see what goes on there. Carolina would play Florida at the moment. Yes, Florida. Yes, Florida at the moment. And then the Isles and the New Jersey Devils and Rangers will play. Jack Hughes, that team, leading that team, and then the Rangers picking up Patrick Kane, Artemi Panarin, Jacob Trouba, Capo Caco, Chris Kreider, all those guys that they have there, Igor Shesterkin. Did I say Trouba? I think I said Trouba. Mika Zibanejad, you can't forget about him. Just they're a loaded team where the Jersey is a new team. Hughes has been balling out. But yeah, the Eastern Conference looks fun. The Avalanche, are in first right now. Well, it's a 3-way tie for first in the Central Division between them, Dallas, and Minnesota. So a lot of stuff can change there. Vegas is in first all out of the West right now. They will be playing Winnipeg at the moment. Kyle O'Connor's having a sneaky good season. Jack Eichel's leading Vegas right now. No Mark Stone. So that's interesting to kind of see how that will play out. Edmonton will play LA, who actually just played. They just played last night in a. It looks like it could be another 7-game series with them, those 2 teams. But McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins has over 100 points, I believe. Like that team is really, really good, loaded offensively. LA has, the legends. Kopitar, has a Stanley Cup. They've had a good team. Seattle, frisky Seattle, will be playing Colorado, I guess, right now if it started. And then Dallas will play Minnesota. Both of those teams, Jason Robinson's having a really good year. Kirill Kaprizov should be getting back here soon to, get he should be back to lead the Minnesota Wild, but they've been a feisty team out there. So, but I was just thinking, man, I don't know. I'm not a hockey expert. I know hockey pretty well. Did I say the Canes? Obviously, my Hurricanes, North Carolina boy. They would line up with Florida, which, the Canes, man, I believe in the Canes so much, man. They're just a frisky, feisty team. Obviously losing our guy Svechnikov, losing him hurts for the season. Lost guy we picked up from Vegas, Patches tears his Achilles. So we don't even have him, but it's just really on the goaltending. If Freddie Anderson can hold up, stay healthy. Rod the Boss, Rob Brindamore, our captain, we won the Stanley Cup, the legendary. If you can't see in the video, I'm doing the march on the skates as he kisses the cup and lifts it in the air. I was a kid, I remember that. See if the Canes come back to glory. But I just think Boston, man, they may potentially be the best team ever. Going for the league record and wins. Just dominant team. They just have to win. They just have to win it. Obviously hockey, the puck can bounce a lot of different ways, so it's a little different sport. But just have to talk about that. But as the commercial rolls on my TV, it's Masters Week. That's really what I'm here to talk to you guys about. The Live guys are playing. Koepka's back. DJ Dustin Johnson's back. Phil is back in the action. It'll be really, really interesting to see. I really want to hear what everybody has to say. Scotty Scheffler, see if he can go back to back. That would be a historic feat that hasn't been done by many. So I'm really, really interested to see and what comes up with that. My pick is the winner. I'm rolling. I like Scotty as the winner, and I like Max Homa. I'm a big Max Homa guy. Top 10. I think Homa's gotten close. I think Homa could win it. I think that's not a bad winner pick. I think that's another one I'm kind of looking at as a potential winner. Max Homa and kind of seeing what he can do. But we shall see. You know, it'll be a fun. They said down in Augusta, no phones. You know, just the beauty of the golf game. Scotty's really hot right now. If he gets to the last day and he's in that final group, I can't bet against him, man. Not right now. He isn't Tiger. My theory is, you know, Homa's my dark horse. My theory is I don't want to be that guy that was, you know, going to betting against, you know, or not taking Tiger when Tiger was on his roll, or, you know, when, you know, different guys who've been world number ones have got on their roll. I don't want to be that guy as Scotty, you know, gets the hole in one, gets the hole in 1 on 9 today, the you know, right into the hole. That's about as good as it gets. But I don't want to be the guy that, you know, when Scotty Scheffler's on this run that didn't ride with him. So I'm gonna ride with you, Scotty. Go get it done. Max Homa, give me a top 10 or a win. That'd be nice. You know, obviously, I think Rory's gonna be up there in the top 10. I think he's gonna be fighting. I think John Rahm, you know, is gonna be in the mix as well. So, you know, exciting to see. You know, there's some dark horses there. There are a lot of guys in the field that I think could sneak up and get it done. I think Sam Burns is dangerous. You know, he just went and really fought hard in the match play. So he did his thing in that. But you know, it's gonna be interesting. You really never know when it comes to these tournaments. You're kind of just shooting in the dark. Patrick Cantlay, Dustin Johnson's back. You know, that would be crazy. Just interested to see how the live guys, you know, will be taken in and how they'll play. It'll be really interesting to see what goes on, you know, and who gets to win. It'll be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully Tiger can play well. Obviously Tiger Woods is great. Hopefully he can make the cut. That'll be nice if Tiger can get it done. But yeah, let's have a weekend, man. I told y'all it wasn't gonna be long. I think I have another episode coming with y'all for y'all at some point this week. And yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Shout out to my guy Tyreek, man. You know, sometimes when you get on these lulls when you aren't dropping episodes, it's just kind of like getting a lull, you know. And my guy Tyreek reached out to me about little things, you know. You know, I haven't talked to him in a while. Great friend of mine at ECU, and you know, we'll have to have him on the pod eventually. But you know, I'm really thankful for him. You know, a lot of times, you know, when we were me and myself and Ian were managers, me and Tyreek had, even after we got on the team, we had legendary battles in 2K. We always talk trash. You know, he's a Lakers guy. We rooting for LeBron, Kobe guys, or God rest Kobe's soul. You know, really, you know, good friend of mine, and he reached out like, man, love the pod, man, love the pod. So that makes me feel good, man. It means that, you know, people who are listening, you know, that it's, you know, we do this for fun, but I do this for fun, but you know, people are enjoying it. They're tapping in, they're listening. I know I'm not perfect, still learning, you know, when it comes to this podcast stuff, but really I'm just like going out here and talking sports just like I do in our group chat. So thank you guys for tuning in, man. I hope to get back with you guys on out here soon. We Move podcast, episode 15. Evan Umstead here. Much love to you guys. Much appreciate all the support. We're gonna try to keep on pushing, man. Keep on bringing you guys episodes. And we move, man. So thank you to everyone. I'll be talking with you guys soon. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at at We Move Pod, and get at us on Twitter. We have the We Move Pod. So yeah, let's do it. Masters Week, NBA playoffs is almost here. NHL playoffs is almost here. Yeah, fun time, man. MLB season's here. It's always sports on, man. It's always on sports. We love sports, man. Something to go. Roll Rays. Keep it going, fellas. Keep it going. Have a good one. Have a safe week. Be safe out here. Don't lose your body. Oh yeah, Anthony Randone can't do that. Grabbing the fan. Let's not do that. People talk trash, but it gets competitive. Let's keep our hands to ourselves. At the end of the day, regular pedestrians can't let them get out your body. Big Randone. You probably never hear this, but to anyone whoever's in that situation, somebody help you. Keep it pushing. We move, man. Episode 15. Evan Umstead. We out of here.